Aaron Rodgers will not be back with the Jets. It looks like they're going to release him. He can go wherever he wants. You look in BetUS. I'll do it right now. Let's go back to BetUS. Let's check out. Let's go back to the videotape.
Tell him what he's won, Cheryl.
Aaron Rodgers. Okay, you're looking. The Steelers have even odds. So they're the favorite to get him. Although if you look at on BetUS, who's most likely to be the Steelers quarterback week 1, it's still Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. But anyway, Aaron Rodgers, even odds to be the Steelers quarterback week 1. Second best odds, the Niners at plus 300. Then the Saints. Then the Raiders. What do you got? What do you make of that? Is that just, a sucker's bet for Niner fans who don't know no better, or do the insiders know something?
I don't see him coming to the 49ers. They passed on Brady at this kind of similar time in his career. I think they'll pass on Aaron Rodgers. Maybe it's up there just because he's from the Northern California and he grew up a Niner fan. And maybe some people doubt whether or not the 49ers believe 100% in Brock Purdy, but they shouldn't because they definitely are going to be extending Brock Purdy. So I don't see it happening.
I'm going to tell you now, Aaron Rodgers has Raiders written all over him. He's going to they need a quarterback. They got Gardner Minshew right now. They're in a no man's land in the draft at pick 6. Okay. They're way too deep, to miss out on Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, right? Either Cleveland's going to take a stab at him or Tennessee's going to take a stab at him or the Giants. I'm telling you, and Tom Brady is a part of the ownership group over there, and I'm telling you, it just seems like the perfect marriage. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to the Raiders. They need a quarterback. It's going to be the perfect situation for him to kind of air the ball out, which is kind of weird because Davante Adams just left the Raiders. So it's going to be very awkward, but that's my take. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to the Raiders.
Real quick,
I think he's going to the Steelers. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jesse. No, Jared made a good point, though. Robert Saleh's on the coaching staff for the 49ers. Aaron Rodgers not coming over here. So go ahead.
I love that. I love that.
He could always get Saleh fired for the second time.
Yeah, the whole Aaron Rodgers thing, I think that's a lazy wagering right there. To me, it doesn't make any sense. The 49ers aren't in the market for a starting quarterback. Robert Saleh was just here. It just there's no way. I mean, the connection is and always will be there with the 49ers passing on him and all those other things. I actually think there's a better chance he ends up with the Rams than the 49ers. The Rams trade Stafford. Watch him go play for the Rams. Davante Adams will go with him. They'll go hang out in LA and play in a dome.
That's a good one.
I think he wants to play in a dome if possible. He wants to play for a contender, or he'll just retire.
That's a good call, Jess.
I would say Steelers or Rams is where I see him going.
I like the Rams one. I like that. That
Could you imagine Kyle walking into a coach's meeting saying, "All right, now hear me out. I got an idea. Rob, calm down. Aaron Rodgers. Now, I know you guys may have had some problems, but I think he could be the next Joe Montana." Could you imagine that conversation?
No, frankly.
Maybe they didn't have any issues. Yeah.
Okay. Here's why I think this is a thing. Here, I don't think it's totally random, and I don't think it's just trying to take advantage of naive Niner fans or football fans in general. I think Rodgers and Davante Adams want to play on the same team again. I think they're a package deal. And don't forget that not only is Rodgers from Northern California, so is Adams. He's from Palo Alto.
Grant, what are you doing?
I think the two of them would love to play for the Niners. They look like a good team. They're an older team. They're their hometown team. I could see them wanting to play. I could see them wanting to play for a bunch of teams. I could see them wanting to play for the Steelers and the Rams, but there is a little bit of a connection here with the Niners, at least hometown-wise. Doesn't mean the Niners want them, but it doesn't mean they don't. I'm just saying.
Okay. You're leaving a little bit of room for crazy, so I'll indulge you. Number one, the Raiders are completely out because Davante's not coming back. right? Davante would never go back to the Raiders.
Right.
But if you can accept that point, then you can also accept the fact that there's no way in hell that Aaron Rodgers is coming here because of Robert Saleh.
Oh, he could gloat in Saleh's face. How you doing, buddy? How you like being a defensive coordinator?
They just called the man the head coach of the defense. Like, come on.
He wouldn't even be in Saleh. He wouldn't even be in Aaron Rodgers' orbit. He'd be a defensive coordinator talking to the defense. But that's a good point. I don't know. Do they definitely have a bad? Maybe Robert Saleh would tell Kyle Shanahan, "Don't bring this guy here.
We don't know that.
Bring this guy here."
Yeah,
Again,
I'm not saying
the Niners want him.
We don't know that.
Have a bad relationship.
We don't know that, but
I don't know. We know that.
You can read body language, and it didn't look good. I'll put it that way.
Aaron Rodgers rolls his eyes at everyone.
There's another thing.
He likes Davante Adams, and that's it.
There's another thing with this 49ers and Aaron Rodgers bit. Kyle and Aaron Rodgers together.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening. I just don't think that Robert Saleh would necessarily be the reason why it doesn't happen. It could be, and there could be bad blood there, but we don't know that for sure. He got fired so early into the season, and he seemed shocked by it. Sounds like at least from Rodgers' standpoint, they had a good relationship. Now, we don't know how true that is or is not. I don't see the 49ers in the market for a starting quarterback, and I don't see Aaron Rodgers playing unless he's going to be the starter somewhere. So
that is true.
Again, I can see him wanting to come here. I just don't think that the Niners would want him. I mean, for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Well, how do you bring a guy in like Aaron Rodgers while you're trying to get Brock Purdy signed? Like,
it would demoralize the locker room if they signed Aaron Rodgers and traded Brock Purdy.
If things fall apart, team would not want it. If things fell apart with negotiations, then that would be on the table to me, maybe, but not really.
Now, if Rodgers retires, and Brock Purdy gets hurt 4 games into the season, I could see it happening. Right? But
like how they almost got Phillip Rivers, or who was it?
Right.
Ben Roethlisberger.
I think it was Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. This won't go away, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but I do think the Niners could also use it in contract negotiations. They offer $45 million, and Brock says, "What are you talking about? I'm worth 60." And they're like, "Okay, but Aaron Rodgers would play for 35. So why are you twice as better than Aaron Rodgers? I don't understand."
You do raise a good point, though, Grant. We've been talking about all of the contract negotiations that are happening with Brock Purdy possibly getting his extension this offseason, and we've heard reports that it's all but as good as gold. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, damn near a done deal. Well, where is the leveraging power for the organization? Mm-hmm. Like, what do they have up their sleeve if Brock does drive a harder bargain than they expected? It seemed as though that the organization is coming into the negotiations as if, hey, we're willing to give you what you need. So there really isn't a conversation right now. This is a foregone conclusion. Mm-hmm. But have they covered all their bases? If Brock does have a agent that says, look, we already got these guys at 58 plus, damn near 60. You want to go 63? You want to go 62? Then we can kind of push this. What do the Niners have? I mean, are they completely going into this, like, for lack of a better term, assed out? Like, hey, we're willing to just give you whatever.
You know what I think they have? I think they have the ability, if they really wanted to say, hey, you're still in contract, dude. Like, take it or leave it. That's what I would do, honestly.
And
I don't buy that.
We have options.
I don't. But wait a minute.
You can't hold us hostage.
I don't buy 100%. That because they look so unorganized for them to literally just basically leave their quarterback at the altar. They've been putting out.
They're not.
Like, they haven't been kind of leaning towards we're going to sign Brock. The reports that have been coming out have been like, he's going to get his money. We are not waiting to pay him at all. So for them to back off and say, in a way, the Niners are kind of cornering themselves from even having that conversation without looking like they're dishonest brokers. Do you see where I'm coming from? It's like, those are just 2 different ends of the spectrum. How do you go from he's definitely going to get paid, get ready for the money that you're going to see out of him, to, well, he asked for 1 penny more than we expected, and he's got to play out his contract? You don't really look solid or balanced as an organization. Go ahead, Jess.
I disagree because and I don't think it's going to get there, by the way. This is not the prediction. But if it did get there and they walked away from negotiations and said, just threw our hands up and walked away, listen, we tried our best. Guys, we told you all offseason we were willing to make him the highest paid quarterback. We want him here long term. But at some point, it just gets unreasonable. Like we tried. We offered him the most. We offered him everything that we thought he would want. And he said no. So we gotta turn. Season's here. We got to go. So we're ready for the season. That's how they save face, because all along the way, they've told everybody, guys, we're going to pay him. We're going to make him the highest paid. So if a deal doesn't get struck, it's not on us. It's on Brock and his
He's
team.
greedy.
So
he's phony. He's fake. He made us think that he was this altruistic, religious kid that just wanted to play football. Turns out he wants to be the high. He has an ego just like everyone else. We didn't know. We got duped.
Okay.
That could happen.
See that?
I mean, it's nice to have Aaron Rodgers as a negotiating chip. In your
but I would say, okay, so what's the tangible leverage? Okay, but that's the narrative.
Yeah.
What would I'm helping you out, Grant, because right now the Aaron Rodgers scenarios just seems kind of like crackpot in a sense. But what would the Niners' tangible leverage be? That's the narrative. But
I just didn't invent the Aaron Rodgers scenario out of thin air. You can wager it, and I just think it does seem ridiculous that the Niners would be second. Why? And to me, the only thing that makes sense is it's something Rodgers thinks he wants right now.
Okay,
it's something Adams thinks he wants right now. It's not necessarily something the Niners would be open to. In fact, I don't think Kyle would be open to it. I don't think Fred Warner would be open to it. I don't think the organization would be open to it. I don't think it's what they want. It's something they could use in the negotiation with Brock, but I think they've made it clear they want Brock. Would you really want to pick 41-year-old quarterback who can't move and thinks 9/11 was a conspiracy, or Brock? I mean, it's easy. Well, that's easy.
That's an easy answer, but I guess my main point is that what is their tangible leverage? What if Brock says, no, I'm not willing to go along with this. I'm going to do me. It's not necessarily Josh Dobbs or Brandon Allen.
Cousins is a free agent. Darnold is a free agent.
So I guess that's the big
Fields is a free agent.
I guess that's the bigger question is, what are the Niners going to do all of those are free agents, but they're not bird in hand. So I guess the next question is like, what are the Niners going to do to have tangible leverage in contract negotiations where they say, hey, if this isn't going to work, fine, we're going to go to X. It damn sure isn't going to be Brandon Allen or Josh Dobbs.
Here's what I think they're going to do, Coach. I think they are going to sign one of these quarterbacks before the contract is done as leverage and as a backup plan, because there's a ton of good decent free agent quarterbacks out there, and the 49ers need one. They can't roll into the season with Brandon Allen as their backup quarterback. Dobbs doesn't want to be here. They are going to make a move on one of these quarterbacks, and if they do that before the contract is done being negotiated, then they have that leverage that you're talking about.
Yep.
You want leverage? Go get Jimmy G. No, I was kidding.
That's right, baby. Game changer.